On average, Fortune 500 companies with the highest representation of women in leadership had return on equity 35% higher, total return to shareholders 34% higher than those companies with the lowest representation of women. Those numbers are really compelling to any business leader and really should give organizations a strong reason to look at the diversity of leadership represented on their board of directors. Because the business case is so compelling for more women in leadership roles, we've looked at the issue of what's holding women back. And there are a number of barriers that we consistently see in our research. The first is a lack of role models. Role models are important not only because they inspire other women to believe that they can be successful in organizations, but also because they challenge stereotypes about what a leader looks like. And certainly stereotypes continue to be at play very significantly in organizations, defining leadership and making assumptions about what women are good at and what they're not good at. The third issue that we see is that women are excluded from informal networks. And that's important because it is in informal networks that women and men have the opportunity to form critical relationships. Unfortunately for women, they have less access to senior level sponsors who can play a critical role in terms of advocating on their behalf when organizations are making decisions about promotions and advancement. And because men are more likely to have those relationships with senior level sponsors, they are more likely to get access to those senior roles. So from an advancement perspective, we know that sponsorship is really critical, and it's a place where women don't have the same access as men. There's a really important distinction to be made between mentorship and sponsorship. Mentorship is really important for women in terms of their professional development. Having mentors, men and women, who can offer constructive feedback, can answer questions, can share their perspective based on their own experience is really valuable. Sponsorship is very different. Sponsorship is when you have someone sitting around a decision-making table who has your back. They're prepared to advocate on your behalf, to use their reputational capital in the organization to help advance your career. This becomes very important, particularly when we look at senior level roles. If there are a small number of qualified candidates competing for a job, the individual who has sponsors around that table is really going to have an advantage because the sponsor's endorsement is really going to become a distinguishing feature for someone as that decision is being made. When we look at a pool of top talent in organizations, the MBA graduates from leading business schools around the world, we want to understand and have explored whether the career paths of men and women are the same or different. And looking at that pool of top talent, what we see is that women start at a lower level and are paid less than their male colleagues. In fact, that number is $4,600 on average, less than men. The gap widens over the course of their careers, and women show that they're less satisfied with their careers. This is true even when we control for family status. So for men and women who have not had children, exactly the same finding holds true. This is a clear problem for organizations because there is clearly a different experience that women are having in the workplace, and that's a wake-up call to business leaders to really look at and examine policies and practices and what they really mean for women in their organizations.